Fight.
Welcome back to my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, share, comment, turn on your post notifications. Y'all know the drill. I say this every video. So today we're gonna be talking about boot camp. So this one I'm gonna try to make it more so of a description of boot camp, not necessarily a story time, even though boot camp itself was a story time. Yeah, it was a story time. But okay, so I'm gonna get right into it. So y'all already know, handy dandy notepad on deck, boo boo. So boot camp, the whole process starts off at this hotel, right, for MEPS. Like, you go to MEPS, I think the first day, then you go to the hotel. I don't know. I don't remember that far back. But anywho, you get your ticket at MEPS, right? And you're getting ready, going to the airport, all this wonderful stuff. So at this point, everything is just ha ha, he, it's no big deal, right? Everybody's just sitting around chatting together. And so once your plane lands, like once our plane landed in Great Lakes, it still didn't seem too bad. We're like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. Like, yeah, girl, I'm about to go to the Navy. Woo woo. Like, party over here. Like, that was the whole thing, especially because the waiting process was so long to even board your flight. So we're like, okay, next. So once you do your, like, I guess, like, check-in thing at the USO, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's just like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Mind you, they have you drinking all this water, right? So you're drinking like a ton of water because your recruiter has already told you as soon as your flight lands, you're gonna have to do a P test, blah, 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 blah. So at this point, we're like completely filled with water. So imagine that. Imagine being in an airport, completely filled with water, but you're trying to hold it because you know, like, oh, it don't really make sense to go pee now, and I'm gonna have to be doing a urinalysis soon. So you have all of these people, like, and I don't even think they had on like military anything. If my memory serves me correct, I don't recall them having on like military stuff, but I remember them like yelling like a lot. And we're still, I think, just like jet lag maybe. Like, the flight wasn't long, but you know, you're just still not really processing stuff that's happening. So they're like, I'm not going to repeat myself, so you better listen, blah, 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 blah. So at this point, everybody's trying to like straighten themselves up. Like, okay, y'all, game time. Like, really, really pay attention now. Like, all jokes are out the window, blah, 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 blah. So, of course, me being me, I'm just like, oh, okay. Why y'all so mad? Like, okay. So anyway, we go ahead, we get ready to board the bus, right? So we're boarding the bus and they tell you, like, don't be on your phones, watch this video. So it's like a 45-minute drive, bus ride from the airport, which I'm pretty sure we flew into O'Hare. But yeah, it's like a 45-minute ride from O'Hare to Great Lakes. So the whole time I'm like dancing. Okay, no, back up. That's the story time. Back up. So we're supposed to watch this video. I'm pretty sure the video is about the general orders, but I do not recall because I was on my phone. Yeah, I said it. I was on my phone the entire time. And whoever I was sitting next to, I don't remember who I was sitting next to, but we basically like kept looking out like, hey, this person's coming, blah, 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 blah. Like, so yes, we get there. And it's a whole bunch of yelling. But I think that we got there too early because we ended up just kind of standing around for like a long time. So they had us like take the basic steps, I guess, like all of the basic steps that we could do without like RTCs and all this other stuff. So that part was kind of crazy because you had us RTCs going around just yelling, hooping and hollering, like giving you your basic military gear, like that you're going to need during boot camp, like skivvies. You got a swimsuit. Did we get towels then? I think we got towels then. I don't know. It was a whole bunch of like little trinkets and whatnot that we were going to need throughout our time in boot camp. So, oh, let me back up. So we ended up getting our phone call before all of that. I'm sorry. We got our phone call before that. The phone call was like very, very short. They were like, hey, this is the message that you're going to say. Don't say nothing else. Okay. And we're like, oh, dang. Like, okay. So we make our phone call and stuff. And then after that, they just like take our phones. We put all our stuff in this box. And that's when we start getting our trinkets and stuff. I'm sorry. I didn't put that in my notes. I'm sorry. But anyway, so I guess the whole point was to make sure that you were staying awake, paying attention to details, realizing that this was no longer a game and that they were serious. So we ended up standing with these sea bags full of things for I don't know how long. I literally, like, I can't even tell you how long we were standing. Like, it got so bad to a point to where we hadn't slept, mind you. We hadn't slept whatsoever. Like none, zero. Most of our time was spent at the airport. Yeah, we were at the airport for forever before we even took off to go to Great Lakes. And then we were at Great Lakes for forever. And then we were on the bus. It was dark outside. I don't know if it was daytime or nighttime, but it was still dark. Then we watched the sun come up. Like, so we were still awake. I'm pretty sure we were awake for like 48 hours or so. So it was a lot of like getting fussed at because it was like no sleeping, blah, 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 blah. Eventually we got to a point where we sat down like with our sea bags, but you still weren't allowed to sleep. So we would like get up and like walk around this room in a circle to like have water. And that's a story time within itself. If y'all want to know about how I got in trouble my first night at boot camp, please let me know, because that is quite the story. Quite the story. Like, who gets in trouble their first night? Me. But anyway, so yeah, speaking of the water, so they had you walk around this room for however long if you didn't have to go to the restroom immediately. So they had you like walk around the room. And so like, let's say this is the room. It's maybe 2 water fountains. And so you have to stop, get the water, stop, get the water, stop, get the water, until you finally have to pee for your country. So there's also another story time in that about the girl and her pee. But like I said, let me know if you guys want to hear that story time, because that's a whole nother thing. It's so funny. But yeah, so we get all our basic stuff, walking around. So boot camp itself, I'm not really gonna go into too much detail because I don't want it to be like a spoiler if you haven't gone to boot camp. But you had like all these different little jobs that you could be in. I mean, some people didn't have jobs, but some people did. I was forward hold, which meant that I basically just gave you cleaning supplies and told you to clean. Yeah, pretty much. Shower time was absolutely crazy. You saw some crazy stuff in those showers. Like, let me give y'all some examples. Like, we would see people who would shower, but they wouldn't use anything to shower, like a towel or a loofah or anything. You would see people who would like take their hair like out of their head and stick it on the wall of the shower. Yeah, it was rough. Like, the bathroom was rough for it to say it was females, but you definitely got to see that you're in a melting pot of different types of people, like different cultures, what's different for different people. Like, we had one girl who she used to spray her, what can I call it? She used to spray her pudding cup with foot spray. So yeah, that just gives you an idea of how crazy that was. So laundry was even worse. We got in trouble all the time when it came down to laundry, between people putting markers in their pockets all the way to people putting dirty pads in their pockets. So yes, fun times, right? Absolutely fun times. But I'm not trying to like scare anyone from boot camp, so I will throw some positives in there. A lot of us built a lot of amazing relationships amongst our division. Like, there were a ton of people who we all graduated together, or people who even got asthma, or people who just were sent home from boot camp, who we all still talk to this day. We all still stay in contact. You go through a lot in that little bit of time. Like when it's time for taps, that's not even like, for most people, we didn't really go to sleep until at least an hour after taps, just because we were like up talking, like, because you feel so dehumanized in boot camp. So yeah, it was crazy. A lot of stuff happened that made you feel like this is my family, and that was something that they instilled in us. So I will say that that's a huge pro, is that you left boot camp with so much family. Like there were times that it was taking my mail weeks to get, literally weeks, out of an 8-week boot camp. It was taking weeks for like my mail to get there. So that was always disheartening when you knew you were expecting mail, but you weren't getting any mail, and you're away from home and you're feeling kind of homesick, you're missing your loved ones, and you're not getting your name called at mail time. It's so sad. Like it's good and you're happy to see other people get mail and how they reacting, but it's also, you get jealous. Like I'm not gonna lie, you get jealous. Like dang, now you mad with your family. So yeah, you're gonna talk to your shitmates about it and all types of stuff. So yeah, that was crazy. Oh, that made me kind of sad. But I still have all of my letters from boot camp. Like, it's crazy. I still have all of my letters, everybody that wrote me. Like I said, we even had people that were separated from boot camp who I still talk to this day. And that was, I want to say 2 years ago. So, yeah. Holiday routine was probably the most debriefing time that we had. It was always on Sunday, and it was a day that you didn't really do anything. Like, you got to take longer showers, because showers were crazy. Showers were like 7 minutes for like 30 people at a time. I don't really remember the numbers, but I know it was way too many people at a time. I could say that. It was way too many people. But yeah, holiday routine was lit. Our RTCs were pretty chill, so we didn't really get beat too much. And on holiday routine, we really got to get to know our RTCs. Yeah, we got to, that's when they would kind of loosen up, I guess. Like, we didn't really, like I said, our RTCs weren't too hard on us, but there were divisions that their RTCs were really, really hard on them. And I also think the group of people who I went through boot camp with, I think we played a factor in how hard our RTCs were on us, because even when we did, like, I think we got beat maybe twice as a complete compartment, maybe twice. And when we would have to do things, like have to work out and stuff like that, like we were very, very motivated. Like even though we were, if that makes sense. Like we were the ones that were like, who y'all Beachbody, who y'all PT, blah, 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 blah. So it kind of was like mocking whatever they were trying to get us to do in a sense. But and also, like, when our individual shipmates would get beat, or like let's say 1 or 2 of them would get beat, like for the most part we all would like jump in and try to help, just to show, I guess, like good sportsmanship and camaraderie and support and stuff like that. So yeah, in that sense, boot camp was really lit, because like I said, those are relationships that I still have to this day. What I don't miss is the marching for distances. Like I went to boot camp in September, the end of September, and I'm naturally from Chicago, but I don't miss like the cold weather. Like I don't visit during that time of year, nothing. And Great Lakes, you're right by all of this water, so we were like marching from, I don't know, I can't even tell you how far those marches felt, because my ship was like all the way in the back. So we were marching for like long periods of time. So imagine people who've never marched before, like me. Luckily I had ROTC before I went, but imagine people like who have never marched, and you have to march distances, and you have to march with like all this gear on, and it's cold and it's raining. And I remember it raining one time, my RTC being like, and it was a woman, so she was like very, very serious about this stuff, because she's experienced like sexism and stuff like that. And so she's like, this is what separates us from the rest of the branches, blah, 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 blah. Like, we're out here marching, our all-female div, blah, 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 in the rain, the cold. And I'm talking about, at this point, the rain is like coming down at a slant, like just smacking us in the face. So we're trying to be like, yeah, like, who y'all? But it's like, We're freezing. We're freezing. The rain is pouring down. The wind is blowing hard. Like, I'm trying to be here with you. Like, we're here. I hear what you're saying, girl. But I can't accept it right now because right now I need to get inside. Okay? I need to get inside. It's too cold. But, yeah, that's pretty much like the gist of boot camp. I will say in closing that battle stations was amazing, and I'm not going to really discuss that, but I will say that your capping ceremony, to me, it shows you who is really in it and who is not so much so in it. The capping ceremony, I think that the vast majority of us were crying, and I don't know if it's the lack of sleep or if it was just a combination of things, a combination of being able to say that you actually did it, your RTCs looking you in the eyes and shaking your hand, and you have like this music playing, and you know, everybody's like speaking so highly, and everybody didn't make it. So it's like, wow, because at this point you've already seen so many of your shipmates get picked off. You've seen people not make it. You've gotten to a point where maybe you felt like you weren't going to make it at some point. So that is the moment that I live for in boot camp. Besides all these like funny stories that I have, and like I said, let me know if y'all want to hear those story times. But that was the bread and butter of boot camp for me, was the capping ceremony, because you get this cap, and I think it says Navy on it, because the first cap that you get says recruit. So imagine how disrespected you feel. Even though that's what you are, you still are like, well, dang. But everybody was asking, like, when can we wear our Navy ball cap, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, when you're a real sailor, when you're an actual sailor. So that became your end goal. I mean, that was your end goal anyway, but that becomes your, like, motivation to be able to say, I can wear my Navy ball cap at this point. So that's all I have on boot camp. Like I said, let me know if y'all want to hear those story times. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, comment, blah, 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 blah. Post notifications, all that good jazz. Y'all already know. Thank you so much for tuning in. See you guys next time.